And people in this room know better than most, certainly even better than I, how many threats we face to the future of public education. It takes courage to be deeply engaged in either one of these struggles, let alone both at the same time. To stand at the confluence of these struggles as you do, it takes courage. But it's not the faux courage that comes from bravado or machismo. It is instead the courage that comes from a deep and persistent sense of calling to one's own core values as a citizen and as an educator. A calling that compels us, I think, to ask each day, how can I live an undivided life? How can I live an undivided life? How can I keep making and remaking what I sometimes refer to as the Rosa Parks decision? The decision to show up in the world with my identity and integrity intact, and to refuse in the most loving way possible, love of self, love of true purpose, love of the genuine needs of other people, to refuse to collaborate with anything that diminishes me, with anything that diminishes my identity and integrity, with anything that abrogates my core values and commitments. And all of that for you and for us translates into what does it mean to serve the true needs of young people, whose needs are so multiple and manifold today, rather than serving the logic of a system that has lost its bearings, the self-preservation logic, the self-promotional logic, the marketization and commodification of education. This is a very fundamental decision in every social movement. How can I live divided no more? And how can I understand that as I manifest my core values in the way Rosa Parks famously did, I will suffer some sort of punishment, some sort of marginalization, some sort of diminishment at the hands of the institution that I'm trying to love into its true self, right? It's one of the ironies of love, right? Love gets resisted. We have to understand that if we want to be in the world as loving people. Where do people find the courage to do this? And it comes to me through the study of the Václav Havels and the Rosa Parkses and the Nelson Mandelas and the Dorothy Days and many others whose names are known and not so well known, that for these people there is a kind of fundamental transformation of logic around the whole question of punishment. And they come to a moment in life of realizing that no punishment anyone could lay upon them could possibly be greater than the punishment we lay on ourselves by conspiring in our own diminishment, by conspiring in our own diminishment. There's this famous moment in the Rosa Parks story where the police come on the bus and say, you know, if you continue to sit there, we're going to throw you into jail. And her recorded response, verified as such in her own autobiographical writings, was, you may do that. You may do that. This very kind of gracious way of giving them permission to put her in jail. But you hear the subtext of that response. The subtext is, what could your jail of stone and wood possibly mean to me, who has just stepped out of the opened cell door of the worst jail a person could have herself in, a jail of my own making, a jail that created by the fact that I was conspiring in my own diminishment by going along with your cruel and racist system. I think that's where movements begin, and I think that's where many of us are in this struggle, this multi-front struggle today, this two-front struggle around the future of education and the future of democracy. And that's a way of saying that we are actually in a struggle that has three fronts, not only education and democracy, but our own inner and relational lives as educators, which need as much reflection and as much nurturing and as much encouragement and as much candor and self-examination as do these external problems in the context of which we're working.